the Highgate Selectboard on this June 21st, 2018. Our first call to order is the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And do we have any public comments for anything that is not on the agenda?
Sharon, yes, I just want to let you, the select board, be informed. I had a call to state on the erosion of the bank on Monday. They came down yesterday. The bank is giving out more. It's going down more, and it's getting wider. It is what it's doing. It's widening, and it's going right straight through. They're keeping an eye on it. I'm keeping an eye on it. What the state says that they might possibly do is cut the trees and put stones in. It's still up in the air, but I just want to let you guys know ahead of time that I did call the state. They told me to keep them informed, and that's what I'm doing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for doing that.
Well, I'm concerned because if it keeps going wider, it's going to affect the road.
Right.
So I just want to let you guys know that I am keeping tails of it.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Richard.
I'd like to have some more information on this roof situation. One, why isn't it just being repaired? Two, are there any other types of style of roof are they looking at, or just standing seam? And three, what's the total cost eventually going to come out on this project?
So, why it's not being repaired? Well, we are basically asking the town on our special meeting vote, which is the 19th of July at 6 p.m. at the school.
Here.
Oh, it's here.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. It is here. So that is to authorize money to replace the roof. Right. So we do have the funds in the account already. There was a motion made at town meeting of this year for a transfer of money for additional repair. We did get a quote for repairs.
Which was?
I would have to look at my notes, but it's
Close to 50, weren't it?
no, it was 39 something plus the bond, which was 10% is what the contractor told us he would add. And then you had that time we talked about the valleys and how much doing the center part was, and there was several board members that asked, well, what would the price be if we did the whole roof?
Which is?
Standing seam, which would be about $103,000 by the time.
Why wasn't a conventional roof price?
That's a very good question.
Because that can be done by any reputable carpenter and repaired by any reputable carpenter, as opposed to getting a special grant to get somebody to repair a roof.
Well, I don't think it was a matter of getting a grant.
I know that, I'm just kind
Yes,
of overemphasizing
yes.
I don't want to use the word stupidity, but I will, of the situation.
There's nothing stupid about any questions here, that's for sure. That's an excellent question. And
I would like to see a price on, I was privy, I was on the board when that roof was put on. I know the steel is thicker. I know the sheathing underneath is thicker. It was improperly installed in the valleys. We had a guarantee, and the guy went out of business, so a lot of good that did. But it isn't as if the roof is cheap.
Right.
It's not a cheap roof, it was a good roof. It was improperly installed in the valley. Fine. We're getting to now, this is the second roof we're going to see on this. Now we're talking the third since 1979. We got a problem here. Standing seam, I've got some on an old house that's 100 years old. It is not working out. So at this point, let's cut bait and see what it costs for a conventional steel roof. and see what that comes out to. And they do it well today. You've got colors, you've got different thicknesses. They bullet line those screws, so you can look from any diagonal. It looks nice, and it's repairable by a lot.
I tell you the truth, I didn't think about it. That's my fault. I mean,
Well, no, it's not necessarily your fault. It's
It's-
just that we're thinking of replacing a standing seam.
Yep.
We don't have to go that route. We've had two situations here where it's been problematic. And problematic to repair. Those other roofs are not problematic to repair. And they're less, get a bid on it. They may come out to 50,000. I'm guessing, I don't know.
maybe less.
And then the portions of the funds that we have available, we could put towards researching and doing more work on the Macy property. Or the library. Those are my thoughts.
No, it's a,
That's a valid point.
yeah, absolutely.
My only question would be, did you guys already sign a contract with the roof repair person? And if so, can he just do a bid for
Right.
shingled
No,
No, I don't think a
Well,
shingle.
No,
steel?
it's steel, just a regular.
Regular
extruded
steel.
roof.
Sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying.
Regular
You don't want
steel
They
roof.
add
I'm
color
not a
as well.
roofer.
They add color as well.
Well, you know, like our house,
I
for
don't think we
instance,
signed anything.
has a new roof and.
I haven't had a roof.
It looks decent.
I haven't had a roof, I love it.
My house is 27 years old, and it's regular steel.
I've got some
Yeah, I just-
steel on my
And it's
house.
I don't know. I'm just-
Wendy, do you recall if we
Would
signed
it-
anything?
I thought we did.
We approved, but I don't think we signed.
We signed something to get on a schedule for August.
Yes.
Something about
But it
August.
can't be, you've got to sign the contract because you're not sure if you're getting all the funds. It's got to be voted on.
Right, yes, there was an understanding with the contractor, yeah, that,
Just an understanding.
yeah, that we didn't know whether we were going to fix the roof
Okay.
or,
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
standing right there still. That.
so yes, I can reach out to the contractor and see if he'd give us a bid on just a regular steel roof.
With very good sheathing underneath, your top of the line. You can go thickness of the roof, you can go, even go up to 24 gauge.
Yeah. Oh,
I believe that's what that is, too. And then, if it ever occurs again in 20 years, we can call up half a dozen different carpenters that do very good metal roofing and get it repaired. Back up the screws and repair it. This is ridiculous. And I would agree with your first thoughts. Experience I've had with standing seam roofs on older buildings. I got some that are 100 years old. But it's your valleys that are causing the problem.
Yes, and I know we did talk about doing something to try to free up the ice in the valleys as well, so that we don't have such a backup.
Talked about the strips that they put on them now, keep them from freezing.
Yeah, they put.
And also,
little
yeah,
coils in it.
and also insulating heavier so the heat didn't get up there and
Put
cause
fire
fire.
line barrier
We
underneath.
talked about that,
Yeah.
definitely.
But you can also do that in a good screwed down roof situation.
We actually went to McEwen's and checked those strips out through their, because they have opportunity to sell that product as well. So we did look at that,
But I
and my
think-
suggestion in the end, no matter what we did, put those strips in. No matter what we put up. That way that nothing stays on it and you don't have to go up there
But
and
in
knock.
this situation, if you're looking at a new roof, let's price the other roof too.
That's a very good suggestion. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, sir.
My name's Greg Cromer. I'm an aerial photographer. I've been traveling around the country the last 10 years building a collection of townscapes. Last fall, I decided to tackle Vermont and working on shooting every single town, but I wanted to show off the one that I took here and see if there may be any interest in a copy for your walls.
Very nice.
Can you turn it a little more, please? Good scape.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
Oh, God.
So,
What is the cost?
Yeah.
I sell these different sizes. This size 20 by 28 is $150 with the frame. Larger 24 by 36, $195. And then I have smaller sizes down to 16 by 20 for $95.
What's your pleasure?
Steve?
That one.
Go for it.
When's the last time we had one done?
I don't know.
Curiosity.
Grateful Dead.
95.
The one up there is from 94.
Yeah, Well, we never had.
How's their
That's my
fund over there for
daughter's
something like that?
That's a good shot.
What's $150?
No, yeah, I'll ask my question. Ask my
I
question.
go with the bigger one for the money.
Yeah,
How much was the bigger one?
195, it's 24 by 36.
yeah.
Look good on that wall?
Yeah, you need something up there. There you go.
Yeah. Sure, I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
To get the bigger one?
I'll second it.
All
To,
those
for
in
the
favor
larger.
say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Wonderful.
So yes, we
I'll
would.
see you next week with that photo.
Okay.
And if you'd like to see my entire collection, I'll leave some cards.
Oh, that would
The
be great.
website that I have is americafromthesky.com. And so far, I've got about 3,000 places in 29 states as I've walked about and flown about the country. But,
Oh, quick question, is that framed?
framed,
Yeah.
just like this. Yes.
Okay.
You got more than one card?
Yes.
So americafromthesky.com.
Yes.
Okay.
That
Maybe
should be
punch
correct.
in Town of Highgate and different scenes will show up, or?
I'm sorry, say again?
So if we punch in the Town of Highgate, Vermont,
Well, I have everything listed in alphabetical order by
Oh.
state, so when you see Highgate, you click on it, a JPEG will open up showing basically this picture.
okay.
And then when you close that window, you're back to the main directory. And
On the map.
so, yeah,
Hey,
I'm making
look
it
at
famous.
There. Well, thank you.
Thank you
That's
so
a
much.
Very nice
You'd see
photograph.
Shelley
Yes, I
Shelley.
met Greg earlier today.
Okay.
Asked him to come and
Sure.
see
Perfect,
the guys that make the decision.
perfect.
Thank you so much. We'll
Yes.
see you next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That would look good right there on that wall.
Yep, I agree.
Any other public comments?
More of a question. The parking area for the canoe access at the bottom of the hill by the bridge, whose responsibility to maintain that is that?
Say that's recreation.
I didn't know if Northern Forest Canoe Trail had any.
I think they do.
I think, wasn't he part of that?
I'm not sure, but I
He
think.
started out.
Their signs are up on the gate
Yeah,
for information.
I don't know what extent that they would help you or what they do, but they are kind of partially, they established it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you talking, what do you need done down there or something?
It's
Just weed
just-
whacking, cleaning up?
Yeah,
fixing
and I
the-
figured if the town had the contract with the work group, one day, 3 guys could do a lot of work in there.
Is that bad down there?
It's the sumac, it's just dark and cars can park there and do whatever
Things they're not supposed to be doing.
they're not supposed to be doing without any attention.
That's what they call it, portage.
Yeah, so I guess if it's Rex, we can work with Northern Forest Canoe Group and see what they can provide for funds. And maybe we can get some solar lighting down there. So that way, because there's no power on this side of the river, but to deter bad things happening, you know. And but I didn't know if it was somebody else's or if Velco had vested interest that they didn't want us doing anything there.
Well, the town owns the trail there that goes down to the.
That's still an old
it's like-
town road thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the old bridge all the way through.
Walking path.
That came out of Wall Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's still the town right away.
so yeah, it is our responsibility to take care of it.
Okay.
so.
Okay, so I'll work more with the rec to see what we can do with the.
Contact your person that does the canoe thing and then work from there, and then the responsibility being still a town right away could fall to the town after that, but,
Right, and they might have some ideas too.
and they might throw in some help too.
Help out.
Definitely a good idea though,
Yeah.
Yeah,
get that cleaned up.
yeah, because there's getting to be not only canoers, but more kayakers coming down the river.
They just had a big event in Richford, and I'm sure they're coming down more and more, so.
I did see a bunch by John's birthday salon today.
Yeah. It's very popular and it
Yeah, they start
might
up in
be a
Cambridge,
nice
there's quite a bunch too.
tourist attraction for the town.
Okay.
Especially when they go over the fall, I gotta see that.
Yeah, it'd be just like, what, Niagara Falls with the, what was it, the
Barrels.
The barrels, yes, thank you, Sharon.
By the way, we do not condone that, just in case
No.
somebody thinks that's a good
I
idea.
was only kidding.
Yes, just
Yeah.
kidding, just kidding. Okay, any other public comment? Okay, moving on. Shelley,
I'll come join you.
certainly. Where Randall is.
All Stars probably, that would be my guess. Check run.
So did everyone have a chance to look at the checklist?
I've got it on now.
Okay.
Check the Dropbox, Josh, you said he just fixed it again.
You ask him what's up?
It's sad.
Once they put it permanent, yes.
Hopefully. So I sent out a final warning to all of the delinquent taxpayers out there. They received it yesterday and today. It's their final shot to make some sort of attempt at paying prior to
Yep.
sending it on to legal for tax sale. So hopefully people start coming through the door and making some payment arrangements.
Are you talking a great number or Kelly?
I sent out just over 30 letters. And there was a few stamped, thank you for your payment plan. This is a balance update. So we're getting down there.
I know
It's-
rattle a few of them that would be down only about a dozen.
Yeah. I'd like to see it less, but
Yeah.
in time.
You know, but you do a great job keeping track of that. That's,
Thank you.
How much
Job
is
on
in
its
back taxes right now? I mean, I know you collected an awful lot.
Yes, Sue, honestly, I couldn't even
I know you collected an awful lot. Thank you.
guess. The
Yeah.
last time I had given an update, it was down there. I'll have an update for you next select board meeting. The auditors are coming tomorrow, but to start the fixed asset inventory, they were going to come last Friday, but then they called Monday with a long list of to do. And with school still in session and people on vacation, it was hard for me to get in touch with the departments that I needed. So Joe has come in, Liza's come in, I sat with Pat. We've got Amy and Pete for town properties. So I'm hoping that a good chunk of the work is ready for them to go. That's what we will be doing tomorrow. And probably most of next week. And other than that, yeah, just getting ready to close up the fiscal year and moving on to the next.
budgets are looking good.
Yes, yeah. I think every department is ending positively. So it is good.
And we do appreciate that. People put a lot of time in trying to meet their budgets in the town of Highgate, and that is very much appreciated. We were hard on the budgets this year when we put in for money, and appreciate the fact that everybody worked well with us to try to control our costs in the town.
That's all I had for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Wendy.
Yeah. You have two sets of minutes, June 7th, June 11th.
So has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the June 11th ones.
You know, second that.
And so that was the special executive session meeting.
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. All right, how about June 7th?
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Okay, do I have a
I'll
second?
second that.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay.
I are still looking. Oh, okay. Just wanted to give you a chance. Okay.
Was mentioned earlier, but our special town meeting about the roof situation is before our next select board meeting, because we only have one in the month of July. Awkward, somewhere. July 19th at 6 p.m. will be the special vote, followed by the regular select board meeting at 7.
So the contractor, RNA Enterprises, does plan on being at that event so that people can have questions and answers at that point.
At the vote,
Yes, but I will touch base with him prior to that to have him get that information ready.
because he'll do also the other type of roof, is that what you're saying?
I'm thinking that we could get him to do the other type of roof as well, so.
And at that point, if an appraisal from him and two others we can go through.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't see anything on the roads, so I'd like to throw in one more comment about something that I've noticed for years, and I think it should be addressed sometime. Our shoulders are building up quite a bit, and what you get when you, it's not hard to understand, once you start getting a ridge, your moisture in your water stays in the road too long. And we should start cutting, I know some private owners have done it already, cut the edge off and slope it back.
Yep.
There's a lot of roads that have that condition. And the amount of sand we put in that shed ends up somewhere. And it's accumulating and it causes further damage. Just something you probably maybe have already thought of it. I know you do it when you pave a road over. I think it should be done on more than just the roads that are going to be paved. It should be done on a lot of the roads that are not slated to be paved right now. Cut that ridge off.
Do you have any in particular? I know Frying Road's pretty bad down the other end.
Gore,
Yeah.
Cassidy.
Yeah, Lampkin I noticed is pretty high too.
You need to take the blade and cut it up and pick it up. I know labor would.
No, it needs to be done. I
Needs to
agree.
be done. In the long run, it'll conserve and help some of our road issues too.
Yep.
With the water and ice out.
Safer too, you don't get a pool in the
Correct.
road.
Yeah. And you could always recycle that as you pick it up. If you pile it, it won't be too long. That's good usable dirt.
Yep.
The grass that's in there and it mixes and makes a good compost. Makes a good dress dirt after that.
I'll speak to that, see what the schedule is.
And I know they make a disc of some type. It's like I'm not sure 100%. You can go along and drive and it pulls that stuff up. Other than that, you gotta use the grader. But just some thoughts I had on some of the existing roll-up rooms. Yep.
Well, the only other thing I have is an email we received today that I wanted Sharon to read.
So we are having some changes in the town of Highgate, and this is one of them. This is from Jeff Towle. He says, "To all, I will need to resign as town lister effective immediately. My medical condition has not improved, and I would like the town to have a qualified lister to get grain list and other duties for the town of Highgate. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time as a lister, and I have made lifelong friendships while being a part of this great town of Highgate team. Thanks, Jeff." So Jeff has had some medical issues, and we wish him only the best, to him and his wife. So we will have a town lister opening immediately. I would also like to remind people that tomorrow night, on June 22nd, there is a fundraiser for Jeff in his fight against cancer. Yes, BFW in Swanton. Yeah. So there's a lasagna dinner, 50-50 raffle, and a dessert auction. So if folks would like to turn out, that would be great. So one of the other things that we have is we are librarian Liza Kaminsky has resigned, and both of the the assistant director, Paulette, and the part-time clerk, Rose, have both given their resignations as well. We're very sorry to see them leave. They've done a wonderful job, and we thank you very much for all of your service. We wish you the very best in the future, and to keep us in mind, and we'll be happy to see you around town. But understand your reasons and wish you all well.
So, that's it for me.
Okay. So, as we can see, Heidi is not here tonight, so there are no administrative items. So we'll go right on to the select board item. We have the Casella wastewater permit renewal form that needs the landowner's signature. There was a little dispute as to who was the landowner because Casella had filled out the forms.
One time, I didn't even see it.
Thanks for coming.
Had filled out the form with themselves being the landowner, and that wasn't accurate. So we need to motion to sign the permit renewal for Casella at the landfill.
Yeah, make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. So we have been working with the Department of Corrections for their work crew, like Ty had mentioned, that there's some workers available at a reduced rate that have been helping to clean up the town and some of our dumping sites. The tire pricing was sent to the select board, and we're looking for an agreement on what to do with our excess of tires. So it looks like one of our best options. First response labor of St. Albans, $2,000 to pick up and dispose of up to 400 tires, which is $5 a piece. George Woods, they recommend BDS. BDS tire disposal out of Maine. They'll come for a full truckload, which is about 1,500 to 1,600 tires at $250 a ton. Budson Tires out of Barrie. They also have tire service available. K&S Tires out of Albany. They have different pricing for tires. And the Northwest Solid Waste would do $3 a tire, which is a corrected price for picking up our tires. So we do have a pile started at the frontage road property, and then we have a great deal of tires on, yes, on the Lincolns.
How many tires do we figure we have? I know I've heard numbers, but
They figured there was roughly 400 tires on the Lincoln Street site and probably 50 tires at the frontage road. But I know Pat said they had picked up several more loads of tires around the town, so.
Is there any at the town salt shed from our own use that we haven't disposed of?
I'd have to check. I know they just changed the grader tires, so I'm not sure if they made a deal for those to go back to whoever bought them or where we bought them.
how much is that big tandem load to have them come up from Maine?
That's a dump trailer full, and it's approximately $3,750 for 1,500 to 1,600 tires.
But we don't have, I don't know.
No, but my thought was we
Split it
do
with
that.
somebody?
We do that, and then if we don't get tires from our residents who have them laying around, we're gonna be back in the same boat in another couple years. So if we had a big truck come in and did a reduced rate for our residents, that we could get these tires, and if you're non-resident, then we charge you more to even, like $5-6 a tire to make up that difference. But at least for our residents, try to offer a cheaper solution for them to get rid of their tires, then maybe we won't end up with them over Lambton Street and over at the
I see where you're getting.
sand
That makes
pit
sense.
again.
That makes
It's
sense.
just an idea. Like me, I have 8 tires sitting out back of my house right now.
I got 11.
Exactly. Just
I got more than that, but they're on rims.
right. I don't know. It's just an idea. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, and maybe we could partner with some of the other towns around,
Well,
like
that's what I was
Franklin
saying,
or
partner.
Swanton, and
If
say,
you let
hey,
them know that we're coming, that they're coming, and we're
Right.
partner, and then
That's why get these tires cleaned up and get them out of our
Then they won't be
community.
straggling
Right.
around the streets, and I know where Josh is coming from, and
Yeah.
that's a very good point, Josh.
I just think if we pick up just our piles, we're going to be back in that same boat in a couple of years.
no,
If you get even if you only get 100 tires,
It's
100
$100
tires,
less.
right? I mean, it's 100 tires less than going.
that's.
I mean, we know we have 450 we're putting in there.
Right.
Minimum.
Yep.
You
You
know.
know
And
what
it
I'm
holds
saying?
how many?
15 to 1600.
Do all 3 towns.
Right.
Yeah, that's, we're talking, if we.
I
can
guarantee the
call
other
them all.
towns have the same type of situation.
Oh yeah, they do.
And like you said, the residents offer them at that reduced price too.
Right.
Maybe we offer them $3 a tire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cheap enough for a resident to get rid of their tires.
Because I bring one of those 11 if I could get them $3 a tire.
Right, because I think over here they're 5, right? 5 or
Yeah.
6. So,
Unless I
Okay,
could
so we
find
can
a farmer.
certainly reach out. You want to reach out to Swanton and Franklin? Sheldon?
Yeah,
For sure.
Even for
Swamp.
4 towns. I mean,
I
It wouldn't take
Okay.
much to fill one if you contacted
Yeah.
Swan. Swan's quite a large place too,
Okay. All right, I could send some emails, see if anybody's interested. But I think you have an excellent point. If we don't help people get rid of them, they're just gonna dump them.
They're just gonna dump
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
or burn them.
I mean, they throw bags of garbage and it's only $2.50 to get rid of a bag of garbage, but maybe,
Yeah.
keep honest people
And we
honest.
see a lot of bags of garbage
Yeah.
on the side, that's for sure.
But I mean, everyone has a set of tires sitting out back that they
Yeah.
just want to get rid of them. Like, what do I do with those? What do I do with
Unless you can find a farmer who wants it, and a lot
Right.
of farmers ain't taking them.
No,
No.
yeah, they want the cut ones because they're easier to handle.
Yeah, 'cause last year when I changed my tires, it was $5, I wasn't gonna bring them all. What was I gonna do with them?
Okay, so yes, we'll send out some emails and reach out to the 3 other towns and see if they would go in out with us and,
Because that's nothing if you split the cost.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Well, you got 4 towns and split the cost 4 ways.
right. You know, if we could,
And plus, whoever brings stuff in,
Right.
tires in, there's some more money coming in for the people bringing theirs.
right. Well, sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have 1 or 2 every now and then.
you have them a lot.
What is that leather?
I can get more than that if I take the rims off of them. I'd probably get about 20 or 30 of them.
Okay, so there is some cell tower work that needs to be done in order to meet our commitment for the St. Albans Dispatch to go on our cell tower. So,
I think we originally thought we just need a slab, right?
yes.
Joe's meeting with them next week.
Just like a 4
He
by.
just needs to know, do they want power in the middle? Do they want it on the side? Where should the slab be?
Right.
Do they need stone underneath? Like, all the specifics that go with the project. So he is meeting with the communications company and Chief Ron, somebody from St. Albans. Hoig, you got it.
And that's
it.
all going inside the fenced-in area, correct?
Well, I don't know anything about the project. I just know that they are
Right.
meeting tomorrow, or next week.
I would assume so, Josh.
I hope so.
That's an assumption.
Okay, land sale reminder, so on the 28th of June, which is next week, there is property sale. The town of Highgate is selling 3 pieces of property. That will be here to Municipal Building at 11?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. So all interested parties.
It's at 11. Oh, it's at 11.
Okay, 11. Land sale, 28th at 11. 10% of the bid price is required at the time of the auction. Cash, certified check, bank check. Come and bid for property. Okay, ADA construction RFP and then environmental review, that has not gone through for a full review yet, so that will happen at the next meeting. We have the stormwater grant, which we need to pick a project, because that is due July 13th. So, since you are our road commissioner, do we have a good project for the stormwater?
Was that the one we were talking about at the end of Hannah Road and Turkey Road? Or is that another project? Or do we need another project for this one?
It is my understanding that we need another project.
Beyond.
Beyond what? Because I know we have the one on Frontage Road,
Yes?
and then we have the one that we talked about at the end of Hannah and Gore,
Yes?
and so then we need another one for this grant.
Yes.
Okay. So, at the end of Compano and Frontage Road, there's always a pond that forms there. We don't really have a place to go with it. Compano and Carter Hill.
Compano
sorry.
and Cart.
Yeah, right there on that intersection's pretty bad. I know Pat's been wanting to do something there, so maybe I can. How much money is that? Carter Hill Road, yep.
Yep. That is, some of this I cannot read because it's so small, but let's
Yeah.
see here.
Hard to see, read it.
I'll go for a ride of Pat and see what I do know that's a classic stormwater area.
Yes.
The whole Carter Hill Road on the right side, there's no ditching, there's nowhere for any water to go down that whole road.
Yeah, and that would help toward our requirements for the state too,
Yep.
yeah.
I know last year wasn't this like 10,000 or something?
I think so, yeah, I
'Cause
don't
that's what
see
we used on
any,
Spooner Hill.
yeah, I don't see any pricing on this.
When does that need to be approved by?
We wanted to pick a project because it's due before the next select board meeting. Because the next select board meeting is on the 19th and this needs to be put into play by the 13th of July. Do you want to review this with Pat
Yep,
before we go
yep.
making a decision? We can always call a special meeting if,
Sure.
or we can leave it up to you and Pat.
That works too. And it's up to you guys.
So,
You trust Pat and I.
yeah, Steve, would you make a motion to have Pat and Josh
Yep.
select the wastewater permit grant
Okay, I'll make that motion.
so that they can make that designation? It would give them our support.
You got that one, Dee?
Yep.
Cool.
So I'll second that. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed. Okay. All right.
Memo on my phone.
Yep, little memo.
I like memos.
Yep. Okay. And I have MRGP, but I'm not quite sure what the heck she is. Put that down for.
She give you a note about the speed study at the bottom?
Yes. Tanglewood Drive. Speed study will be starting on June 21st, which was
Today.
Yeah. So Northwest Regional Planning will be doing that study for us, and they will give us the results, at which point then we can do our signage change if necessary. And basically that is it for the regular meeting. So, does the board have anything else?
record.
Hey, where's Speedy? Where's Speedy?
45 minutes.
I got some for Ty. When are you planning on striping the rink?
I plan on calling a contractor tomorrow
Okay.
that I saw go through town last select board meeting and see if they're in the area. They're out of Charlotte, see if they're in the area, but Shelley is gonna give me some answers from the auditor, because I'm sure they're all out past July 1
But
Yep.
using this
Oh.
fiscal year money
Right.
and next fiscal
in
year.
next fiscal
Yeah.
year. I would say the slowest time to do it is the first 2 weeks of August.
Yep.
So that's about when we did the ceiling. We did the ceiling on Labor Day, so it was the end of
How
August.
is that ceiling holding up? Should a second coat be applied before we stripe? Because once we
No.
stripe, it's kinda,
I don't believe it needs it this year. I believe it'll need it next year. And also that we didn't put funds in for
No.
this fiscal year.
if it needs to be done you're saying next summer?
Yeah,
Hate the paint lines and then have to seal it right off, that's all. You know what I
Right.
mean?
but it's gonna be that way. You're gonna fall
Oh,
into
yeah,
that.
exactly.
You
I
know, the
hate
lines
that.
aren't gonna last more than a year, so you're gonna have to paint them next year either way,
Okay.
even if we seal. When Bushy's did the seal coating, he told me, you know, first year, maybe do it the second year, but
Well, I saw him today, that's why it
Yeah.
struck my interest.
Yeah.
He did my father's, I was talking to him, and he thought that 2 coats right off would be good because it hasn't had anything on it in so long.
right. I
So-
think, looking at it, in my opinion, I don't do it for a living, obviously, but I think we'll be good to do it next year.
Yeah, your tires still squeak when you turn them on it, so
Yeah.
it's still,
Yeah, and there'll be very little crack filling to do next year. It'll just be a seal coat and maybe a couple small crack fills, but it won't be the $1,400 worth of crack filling that we did last year. In my opinion.
perfect. Just keep it lasting, that's all.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
looks
so we're
good.
not in the same boat as our
Neighbor.
adjacent neighbor is.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, and the last thing is that Franklin and Grand Isle County residents are invited to the June 26th Recreation Committee. It's called our Recreation Collaboration Group. St. Albans City Hall, 100 North Main Street in St. Albans. So June 26th, 5:30 to 7:30. There will be refreshments, and they'll talk about different recreation ideas. Jerry, here you go, if you can see it. And if I don't, wiggle. And then I would make a motion.
I got-
Oh, go.
Just one
Sorry.
select board item. I know last select board meeting talked about the Act 46.
Yes.
I went to the school board meeting last night, not for that topic, and there was mention, and the information's not out yet, but there's mention that there's going to be buses leaving the local schools. I don't know the date, but for
Didn't get the date.
no, I didn't.
We've been talking about that as well.
For, it's, the State Board of Education meets in Newark,
Yeah, so-
Vermont, up in
yeah.
northeast. We can't get there from here. is
Right,
what
yeah.
I heard.
Seems
Way out of
Yeah.
town for what it should
So, be on the lookout for more information on
Yeah.
that. 'cause-
Okay,
Yeah.
yes,
seems illegal, but
I know.
You get 3 towns saying no,
We just
and then
don't
it
get
comes in
it.
and tells you yes, it just.
And they're gonna put that out of reach, but most people aren't gonna go.
That's
And
exactly
that's
what they're putting.
ridiculous. And people really need to know about that. Yeah. I've been informed on it as well.
Okay. Anything
Thank you,
else?
Todd.
That's it.
So I make a motion that we exit the regular select board meeting and enter into executive session for personnel issues.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Oh,
Aye.
Thank you, folks.